This is the second Memorandum of Understanding signed by Customs in the latest move to combat against illicit tobacco activity. Joining forces with one of the world's largest tobacco companies, Japan Tobacco International, not only paves the way towards greater cooperation in fighting tobacco crime, but also aims to protect legitimate trade.
This MOU basically is a framework of cooperation in terms of tackling illicit tobacco activity. So its measures include things such as sharing information, both spontaneously, on request, to them, on their brands obviously, market monitoring in terms of capacity building and training, for example, officers on being aware on counterfeit tobacco products. But I mean to stress to your viewers that there is no issue with counterfeits in Gibraltar. However, one always needs to be trained and ready should there be an occasion where we have counterfeits in Gibraltar. So it's basically capacity building, training, exchange of information, market monitoring.
It's fundamental that our customs department have the relationships with the industry as much as they do with other law enforcement agencies around the world and in the region, in order to ensure that the illicit attempts that there are to drag our tobacco market into criminality are resisted, and that we have the ability to communicate not just with those who are retailing and wholesaling these products, but those who are producing and manufacturing these products also. We've got other MOUs with other manufacturers. JTI is one of the biggest in the world, and I'm delighted to see that we've now been able to see Customs enter into these arrangements with them.
Well, I think it's very important that it's clear how JTI take a leading role in being a responsible company. In terms of anti-illicit trade, it's vital that there's cooperation between both tobacco companies and also government and enforcement bodies of sharing information, and also cooperation of helping identify product if it is seized, and making sure that it can be tracked and that enforcement action can be taken. JTI have a long history in many markets internationally in working in this manner, and we're absolutely delighted to sign an agreement with the Gibraltarian government which moves in the same direction.
Tens of billions of cigarettes are consumed in Europe each year, with revenue from this helping to fund criminal networks worldwide. Closer to home, the Campo region is a hotbed of activity for Spain, with a finger sometimes pointed towards Gibraltar. Well, the former head of the Guardia Civil in the Campo region suggested recently that there was a lack of cooperation from Gibraltar on tobacco smuggling. What's your response to that?
Well, I think that's a very unfortunate statement and factually incorrect, and it's very disappointing that has been said. Do you know that Gibraltar has one of the most stringent, powerful tobacco laws in the world? Some might call it the most draconian tobacco laws in the world. We are very grateful that the government has, on many occasions, on my recommendation, increased tobacco prices, increased tobacco taxes as well, and a whole raft of measures have been introduced to tobacco laws, to tobacco regulations, and all told, I am sure, because obviously we've got the intelligence to suggest this, that volumes have come down naturally because we've got extra resources, because we're out there at sea and we're doing more proactive and more reactive work as well. And all told, I'm sure that the tobacco industry, the aim is to bring it down to a moderate, very illicit activity in Gibraltar.
I think the illicit tobacco activity in the region has been declining over the recent times, and that is partly because of the strong initiatives that have been put in by the government of Gibraltar, and also the cooperation that we see between companies such as ourselves, the customs authorities, and with our distributors to make sure that everybody is acting in a responsible manner, which is an absolute priority for us at JTI.
The government says it will continue to review its procedures and legislation to ensure proper compliance with Gibraltar laws and conditions of tobacco licences by all local entities involved in the tobacco business.